and welcome back to Not Just Another Fat Girl. Clearly, I have been laughing to the point of almost tears with the fabulous Delphina. I am Kristin. If you don't know who I am, go watch some more of my videos and you will quickly learn and find out that I am a fabulous fat girl who does not fit your stereotypes. Or at least I like to think I don't fit stereotypes. That's for everybody else to judge, and frankly, I don't judge, so judge away if you want to. Today, we are coming here to talk to you a little bit about our journeys to self-love. Because what I found is that you typically find people who are envious, people who want to love themselves, and then you have the other extreme of people who already love themselves. So essentially people like me and Dee who already love and accept themselves as they are. And then people who want to so badly but they don't even know where to begin. Yeah. And there really aren't very many people in between. And so we are hoping that this video will kind of help you folks along. Help you get from point A to point B. And hopefully get there as smoothly as possible. But I'm going to tell you ahead of time, it's going to be a bumpy road. Because any journey, any transition, any path to change, especially to eradicate a lifetime's worth of mental training, is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Period.
And you'll see, our stories are very different.
Mm-hmm.
We still went on a journey to reach the same place. We still had the same goal in mind, but our journeys were very different. We started very different places, and your story will be very different too. So take that into consideration when you're hearing a little bit about our journey to love ourselves, because you can find your own path, and it will get you exactly where you want to be.
100%. And that's the thing, be forgiving. Be gracious, be grateful, be merciful, be forgiving with yourself, because we are all human, we all make mistakes, and there is no such thing as a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Period.
None. So I was thinking we would start with your journey, because you were smarter than me, and you started your journey a lot younger than I did. And let's go there.
Okay, we can start with me. I'm good with that. So, for those of you who don't know, I am 29 years old. And the reason why I mention that is because for a lot of people, that will be younger than they were when they came to love themselves. For me, though, that feels very old. I feel like I have come to love myself late in life, too late in life oftentimes. I grew up in an environment where I was the biggest person in my family. I was the biggest person in the classroom. I was the biggest person in my church youth group. I always seemed to be the biggest person. And it wasn't just that I was the biggest person. It was that I was bullied and I was picked on for being the biggest person. And so even amongst people that I thought were my friends, even amongst my own family, comments were made. Things were said that I will never, ever forget. And so when you live your entire life being put down, when you live your entire life among people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, but that don't, it really makes you think differently about yourself. It makes you believe what they say a lot more easily. Because I looked at it and I said, if my own family, the people who are supposed to love me unconditionally, the ones who are always supposed to support me, can't even accept me the way that I am, then nobody can. And clearly there is something wrong with me. And I went from that type of childhood into a very dysfunctional adulthood, in a relationship that I really probably should not have been in, because the person that I was with only perpetuated those same thought processes. They did not encourage me to love myself as I was. And frankly, they had some issues loving me as I was and were very verbal about it. And so when you live your entire life being put down by everybody else around you, it definitely takes its toll. It wears you down. It makes you feel so utterly and completely defeated. And then you have a daughter. Then you have someone who is just like you in so many ways, and you can see yourself in them. And my daughter came home from kindergarten talking about how she was fat. What on earth is happening these days that children at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old are worrying about body issues?
And she wasn't fat.
She was not fat in the least. She was actually a little bit underweight at that point in time. But she got it in her head that she was fat, that she needed to lose weight. And as a mom, that broke my heart because I see the good in her. I see the kind, loving, caring, smart little girl that she was. And it was difficult to watch her struggle to see that for herself. And that forced me to take a really hard look in the mirror. Because my daughter loved me unconditionally. She loved me the way that I loved her. She saw the good in me that nobody else could see. And that made me realize that if it's breaking my heart to see her struggle to see it for herself, God only knows what it was doing to hers. And at 5 years old, that's a lot for a child. Because they don't understand the complexities of body image, of, confidence issues. They don't understand the complexities of societal standards. And so they can't wrap their head around it. But she was the catalyst. She was the one who made me take that hard look in the mirror. And she's the one who pushed me to begin this journey. Because I wanted to be a good role model. I wanted to be a good example. And I wanted to change her world in a positive way. I wanted her to see the good that I saw. And the only way that I could possibly do that was by being the shining example. By doing it myself. So that's exactly what I did. I sat in front of the mirror, and that first day was so hard. I hated myself to the point where I spent 2 hours trying to find one little thing to like about myself, one little thing to accept about myself. And I ended up picking a freckle that day. A freckle, something as small as a little freckle on my cheek, really. But I dedicated myself to it. I wanted my life to be different. I wanted to be different. And the only way that I could ever be different was by changing. And the only way that I could change was by going through this really difficult process, was by facing my demons in the mirror, taking a hard look at myself every single day. And every single day, that's what I did. I found something new to love, to accept about myself. And there were days when I did stand forever at that mirror trying to find one thing. But then the longer I was in that journey, the more days that were behind me, the more I loved about myself. Until one day I realized that there was more that I loved than I hated. And coming to the end of the journey, and I'm not saying that all it is just picking each little thing and slowly putting it together. No, it is about radically changing your thought process. It is about coming to a point of understanding and saying, you know what? I'm never going to be perfect. I don't care if I lose 100 pounds. I am never going to be perfect. Loving myself is not screaming to the world that I am perfect. Loving myself is telling the world that I deserve to be loved. I deserve happiness, even if I am imperfect. It is me refusing to punish myself for not being what everybody else isn't. Perfect. There is no person on this earth that is perfect. Period. I don't care if you are a supermodel on the cover of a magazine, you are not perfect. Everybody has flaws. And you have to reach a point of acceptance, of forgiveness. It is not to say that I am where I want to be. It is not to say that my journey will ever end, because it is a never-ending journey. But it is one that I am so happy that I am on. Because at the end of it all, when I finally let go of all of those inhibitions, when I finally let go of all of that negativity, a weight was lifted off of me. I feel so incredibly free. I can finally be the person that I always wanted to be. I can finally be the person that I was always envious of. I was always envious of that very charismatic person who kind of seemed to own the room. I was always envious of the girl who could walk in that mini dress and strut her stuff, even if she wasn't a size 2, with no shame. I can finally be whoever I want to be, whoever I feel like I am. And that is because I'm finally living to my own standards and not based off of anybody else's. That is a process. That is a journey. And that is a journey that is going to take time, that is going to take patience, that is going to take dedication. But if you commit to finding one thing every single day, eventually you will be like me and you will realize that you love more than you hate. And as you continue, you will start to realize that all of those things that everybody said about you, they're more of a reflection on them than they are of you. That's something that took me a really long time to realize, was that all of those hateful, hard, mean words that were said to me were more of a reflection of everybody else's fears and not me. Because I am fabulous.
She is.
Fabulous. And I own that now. I am not perfect. I will never, ever claim to be perfect. But you know what? I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be treated with respect. I deserve happiness. I deserve to be desired. And so do you. So do you. And that's what this journey is all about. This journey is not about, conforming to anybody else's standards. It is finding your own standards and coming to accept and love yourself within those standards.
And see, my journey was very different because I grew up, and I put this on myself, but all through high school, all through college, all through my career, I found my self-worth in my accomplishments. So my self-worth was, I got a good grade, so I'm really important. I'm worthy. I got this job, and I'm doing well at it, so I'm worthy. I did this great thing, project that's going to be implemented statewide, so I'm important. And for a long time, that was how I based my self-worth. Not who I was, but what I accomplished. And there comes a time when you drop the ball and you don't accomplish something. And that happens a lot. That happened to us today.
Yes, it did.
And what I found is when those things happened, just as those accomplishments would raise me up, those failures would bring me down. And I was older than Kristin when I started my family, and that was the first time I wasn't working towards an external goal. My goal wasn't to do well in school and to get a job and to create these projects. And I realized then that I really didn't have anything to like about myself that wasn't related to what I was accomplishing. And I didn't like that, but I didn't know what to do with that. And I threw myself into being a mother. And started to find my accomplishments in that and realized I was on the same pattern. And that's actually about the time that we met. And we met because I one-clicked one of her books one day. I think it was free. it was either a free promotion or it was because I was cheap. I didn't know anything about her.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I read this book, and I wanted to be like the character in that book because she loved herself for all that she was and all she brought to the table as a person, and not the things she could accomplish for others, and not the things she could accomplish for her career, and not the things she could accomplish in school. It was all about what she brought to the table, and I wanted to be that. And it took a long time for me to do that. And I'm a reader. That's why Delphina Reads Too Much. So I actually learned a lot from fiction books because I realized that there were a lot of books out there about women like me. And I would read them, and I'd pick out little things that they did that I wanted to emulate. And it took a long time. But here I am, and I'm fabulous.
Yes, you are.
I bring a lot to the table. And hopefully I'm the role model for my daughters and my son that I want to be. And I'll continue working towards that. But it was making the shift for me over really putting too much of my worth in what I could do and not who I was.
And that is key. You will find in your journey that you learn to say no a little bit more. And you learn to protect yourself a little bit more and not be so giving. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with being selfish sometimes because we all need that me time. We all need to rest and to recharge. And something that you said that really stuck out to me is about how you don't feel like you have to overcompensate for being who you are. Being who you are is enough. And when you finally realize that, it is so incredibly freeing. You are enough. There's nothing that needs to be added to you as a person or subtracted. You are perfect. You are enough as you are for the people that matter. And I don't care if your family doesn't accept you as you are. That means that they are not somebody who you need to have in your life. That may sound very controversial, but when you come to love yourself, you will come to realize that you deserve positivity. You deserve the same things that everybody else deserves, which is love, it's acceptance, it's respect, it's success, it's joy. It is whatever you set your mind to.
And we're not saying that you don't want to grow in other ways. You know, you might want to go on a journey towards more education or a journey towards better health or a journey towards career. There are many things that you might want to accomplish in life, but you need to love yourself, and that can't be negotiable. That has to be something that you really take to heart because it's what makes life worth living.
Absolutely. And something that you learn as an adult is, and it's kind of sad that you have to say it like this, it's not to say that you don't have people in your life who support you, who are supportive, but you will find that every bit of success in your life has to come from you. Every bit of change in your life has to come from you. If you want to be a different person, you have to take the steps to become a different person.
And those can be teeny tiny little steps.
Yes,
as long as they're going forward, you're on the right track. And sometimes you will go backwards and you just can't give up. It happens.
It really does happen. And that is the bottom line. If you don't give up, then eventually you will come full circle. And you will finally be where I am and where Dee is. And let me tell you, I'm a heck of a lot happier. I smile a heck of a lot more. I enjoy my daughter.
The right people.
Yes.
Because people like to be around like people, and so you're happy and you have this positive energy, and so then the people around you are happy and have this positive energy, and just your whole life is better.
It genuinely is. And I think part of the journey, like I said, you're going to have those days where it is hard. I stood in front of the mirror for hours trying to find one little thing. And it's not to say that I am perfect now, that I don't have my moments where I have a little bit of self-doubt, where I don't feel quite as confident. But that's just it. They're moments now. And in those moments, what I do is I find my support. I don't have it readily in my life in the people who are in my day-to-day. I don't see Dee every day.
It's very sad.
I know. But the people that I see every day, unfortunately, they are not always the most supportive of me. And so I have to seek out that support elsewhere. And so 99.99999% of my support comes from online. It comes from those body positive role models that are out there. And newsflash, they are not all curvy. No. You do not have to be curvy or bigger to be body positive. You can be thin and be body positive. Body positive is not BBW body positive. It is just straight body positive.
It's loving the body you have.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't matter what size you are.
Absolutely. So go out there, search for those role models. Go find those groups. On Facebook, me and Dee are in a Curvy Girls romance group because,
we read a lot.
Hello, we are curvy girls and we like to read, and we especially like to read about curvy heroines getting their sexy papi chulos. So we go in there, and that is very positive. It is very uplifting to be able to network and to speak with and to share things with other people who understand, who get us, and who on those bad days are willing to lift us up and to give us that extra little boost that we need. And so don't be afraid to go out there and to seek them on Instagram, on Twitter, social media. Go find those people, follow them. Go find those groups, those networks, and connect with them. Ask to join. I don't think we turn away people if they ask to join.
No, we don't. Unless they put up sunglasses every 2 seconds and say, please buy our sunglasses. Then
we don't accept spammers.
No.
I can't even say the word. Don't be a spammer, and
we are going to
we'll accept you.
Overly tag this this YouTube so that you can see all of the ways that you can look for body positive or loving yourself. Like-minded people. If you don't have some connections already, any of those you can hashtag in any of the social medias, or search in their little search boxes and find groups or people who represent those things.
Absolutely. I will include links for Instagram, for my Instagram, for Dee's Instagram, for some of the body positive people that I follow on Instagram. I will link down below some hashtags that you can search for. That's another way that you can find those like-minded people. Even just looking up the hashtag body positive is going to produce some people that you can probably connect with and get that little daily boost of confidence, that little extra shove in the right direction on those days where you feel like you are lagging a little bit. And above all, though, don't feel like you are alone.
No.
Really, genuinely. This is a very hard process. It is not easy. It is you breaking an addiction. That may sound extreme, but I don't think we realize how instinctive it is to automatically think negatively. I don't think we realize how instinctive it is to put ourselves down. I don't think we realize how addicted we are to tearing ourselves down rather than lifting ourselves up. And it's not to say that we don't want to quit, but think about the alcoholic or the drug addict. It's not like they don't want to quit. it's almost like they don't know how. At that point, it's instinctive to reach for the bottle. It's instinctive to go look for the next hit. They feel like they need it. They feel like they don't have another way to cope. And that's the thing. This is not an easy journey. It is breaking an addiction. It is radically changing yourself, your mindset, how you respond to every single situation in your life, how you respond to every comment, how you respond to yourself in the mirror every day. And that's not easy, and that's not going to happen overnight. But know that there are tons of people out there who have already gone through this process and who so desperately want to help you get to where they are. We want to help you get to where we are because it is so amazing to just say F your beauty standards. It is so amazing to just say, I don't care what you think. I'm perfectly happy as I am, the way that I am. And there's nothing wrong with me. And if you think that there is something wrong with me, then why are you looking?
Yeah.
Why are you looking? Turn around. Look the other way. Go look at whoever you are attracted to. Really. So we hope that you have found this video helpful. We really, genuinely do hope that you will make a serious effort to begin this journey if you have not already. If you are on this journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Yeah. Don't hesitate to reach out to those other groups, to those other body positive people, because we all have the same goal. We all want to accept who we are, to love who we are, and to have everybody at the pot of gold at the end. Really. Because it is a pot of gold. It's a pot of happiness. It's just rainbows and sunshine over here. Most days.
Yeah, we're...
Every now and then you need a glass of wine, but, you know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we genuinely do hope that it helped you out. If it did, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Even if it didn't, feel free to give us a thumbs up because we think we're fabulous. And we like thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I will definitely be doing more videos on coming to love and accept yourself and kind of the process of it. And we hope that you stay fabulous.
Can't even hit it.
I can't even hit it.